Hi folks, Matthew from Disaster Area here, doing a quick video demo of our new DisasterPlugs solderless cable system. DisasterPlugs are made in the USA. They are really nice. They're designed to be assembled easily with no stripping or removal of the insulation. All you need to make DisasterPlugs is a screwdriver, which we include with the kit, and you'll need a pair of wire cutters that have a scissors type action, like these guys. These are Hacko CSP30-1s. There's a link in the description to a place where you can buy these inexpensively. If you don't have a pair of those, then a good heavy pair of scissors like these will do the job just as well. So let's see how you actually make a DisasterPlug cable. Okay, so here's a completed cable. This is about a 3.5-inch cable, 4-inch cable. You can see we've lined up these cable notches here to face the same way. That lets the cable bend over on itself in a right angle, or it's great if you want to get the cable two plugs right next to each other just like this, so you can do that. So the way we make this cable is we're going to cut the cable to the desired length, and we're going to add 3/4 of an inch. We're going to insert the cable into the plugs, then we're going to insert the screws and tighten. We're going to use a cable tester to make sure that we've made them correctly. If you don't have a cable tester, you can plug them into your rig between two pedals, and if you get a hum or buzzing noise that goes away when you touch the outside of the plug, then it's a bad cable. So let's see how we actually make these. So here's our cable. You can see it's a coaxial cable, which means that there's a shield around the outside that carries the ground connection, and then there's a little tiny silver copper guy in the middle there, and that is the hot connection that carries the signal. So what we need to do is we need to cut this off so that the end is perfectly square and flat here. If we use our cutters here, that's not too hard to do, so we just cut that square. You can see we got a nice square end there. And then we can kind of roll it between our fingers, or you can roll it on a table to get it back in a round, because the cutters are going to compress the cable somewhat. Okay, so once you've got the cable prepped, we'll pull one of these plugs out, and you can see the body of this is all one piece, and then you've got the tip. The cable is going to go in the hole here, and it needs to go all the way in the hole until it stops, and then you have to push it hard just past that. So get the end of the cable that we've already cut, put it in the hole, and it goes in about that far, about 3/8 of an inch before it stops, and that means it's up against the needle inside. And then we're going to push it, and it'll push about an extra 1/8 of an inch, maybe not quite. So that guy's in there, he's not going anywhere. So we'll take a set screw out of the bag. It's a good idea to do this on a table, not on carpet, because if you lose one of these things in the carpet, you'll never find it. Okay, so the set screw's got a slotted end, and then it's got an end that's not slotted. So we're going to put the not slotted end in the hole. Again, this is probably common sense. And once the guy's in there, we'll just turn to tighten. And the screwdriver that comes with the kit is perfect for this. I'm trying to get this so you can see it. Turn the screw so that it's just underneath the surface of the plug. So if you guys can see that, it's just underneath the surface of the plug. Shouldn't stick out at all. It shouldn't protrude at all. Alright, so we're going to cut the other end of the cable off, and this is just a demonstration cable, so it doesn't really matter how long we make it. You make these as long as you need them. So we cut the cable. We roll it a little bit to get it back in a round, make sure it's nice and round. We'll pull another plug out of our tray here. Now, when you make these cables, you can see that there's a little notch here. This notch lets you fold the cable over so that it's a right angle. First of all, don't fold it over until you've actually made the cable, because if you fold it over, it can pull on the insulation, and it can actually pull some of the center conductor back into the cable, and then it won't touch the needle. So leave it straight until you're ready to use it. If you want your cables to be in a sort of a U shape, like our demo cable over here, you should put the notches facing each other on the same side of the cable, so you can see that you can view them both. and that lets you make the cable into sort of a C shape or a U shape, or it lets you put the cables right next to each other. If, on the other hand, you wanted to have the cables in an S or a Z shape, you could put them on opposite sides. So you'd have one notch here, and then you'd have the other notch on the other side. So we're going to make our demonstration cable that way so that we can make them into an S or a Z. So here's our notch, and we're going to take the other plug and we're going to put it on so that instead of the notches being together like this, they're actually going to be opposite. So we'll roll that around so the notches are on opposite sides of the cable. So again, we push the cable into the plug until it stops the first time, and then we push it hard, and it'll go about another 1/8 of an inch. Put our screw in the side of the barrel here, side of the handle, and then we'll use the included DisasterPlugs super rad driver to screw the screw in all the way. Give it a little tug just to make sure everybody's cool, and that's it. So how do we know the cable's good? Well, I have a cable tester, so I'm going to use that. This is Behringer CT100. It's not the most expensive cable tester. It's not the cheapest. It does a decent job if you know how to use it. Plug the cable in and flip it to test. What we're looking for here is sort of the pattern that would be on the side of a die. So it's sort of an X pattern. If you have a TRS cable, it's actually a diagonal line. But since we have a TS cable, the ring is shorted to the sleeve, so you get this extra guy here. So you get 5 instead of 3. And then you can actually, in these guys, you can wiggle the cable, and if there's any opens or shorts, if it's intermittent at all, these lights down here will light up, and that tells you that one of those conductors is marginal. You can see that this is a good cable. We're actually holding the cable tester by the cable. It's pretty good, so turn it off, and that's it. We've made our cable. Start to finish, once you get good at these, is about 30 seconds of cable. They're really quick, they're really easy, they're reliable. The cable's very flexible. You can bend it just about any way you want. You want it like, you know, this. I don't know why you would, but it's really bendy and flexible. You can bend these over and make right angles out of them. And the cool thing about this is, unlike right angles that have a keeper or a cap, if you don't need it to be an actual right angle, like if it's not right up against another pedal, it'll bend out so that it takes some of the strain off the cable. If it needs to be right up against another plug or another box or something like that, you can bend them, and the Velcro on your board or the dual lock will hold them in place. And so they'll happily stay like this, or they'll go even tighter. They'll touch each other, no problem. I've got plugs on my personal board that touch each other just like this. I've got Alexander pedals on there with the jacks the same distance apart, and they butt right up against each other with no issues. So that's it. Disaster plugs. They're really easy to make. They sound really good. They're reliable, robust connection. If you've been burned by other solderless cables in the past, we'd love for you to give these a try. We feel that they're a big cut above anything else that's out in the market right now. If you've got any questions, please post them down in the comments. These are available on our website, and they'll be available at all of our dealers very soon. We sell them in pre-made, 1 foot, 6 inch, 18 inch. We sell them in bulk. They're compatible with George L's, so you can use disaster plugs on one end of the cable, George L's on the other. You can use George L's cable with disaster plugs. You can use our cable with George L's plugs. They're 100% compatible. They work great. This cable is a lot more flexible than the George L's cable, so if you've had issues with that in the past, feel free to just buy some of our cable and use your existing plugs. We're here to help. Anything you need, send us an email. Again, thanks for watching.